Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Yesterday we talked about the insane comeback, the insane reverse sweep that Fnatic was able to pull off in the first round of the playoffs, and just everything it meant to them. Obviously being able to continue on their season, still having a chance to qualify for Worlds next week, and what it means for all of those players, and how defining these moments, whether you win or lose a close series, a big game, a game 5, whatever, how much it can mean to all the different players, the coaches, and the trajectory of their career, what it means for their next contract, their future, all of these different things. But of course, in every matchup where there's a winner, there's the other side of it. There's a team that comes up short. There's a team that has the exact opposite things happen. All the good stuff that happened to Fnatic, that's all the bad things that are happening to Excel right now. So today we got to talk about the flip side. We got to talk about how Excel's season is over. They are in the off-season mode now, and Excel, unfortunately, despite some ups and downs and some high moments in this season, they are finished. And this was kind of a crazy story because, coming into the year, Excel had some heightened expectations. They had the successes of Markoon and Advian last year. They were building on some good things. Finn was coming in. Maybe he's going to be good. Maybe he's going to be bad. Nuke Duck is like always pretty solid, but never really amazing. But then you have Patrick, who, is really seen as one of these real good AD carries. I mean, the LEC is just absolutely loaded with them right now, but Patrick is a guy who can definitely carry and win you some games. And if we take a look at the LEC 2022 in spring, I believe this was the first time Excel had ever made playoffs. They had gotten Mickey. They'd brought him in a couple weeks into the season. Some people were upset, like, oh, you're kicking out Advian. Oh, you're bringing in, a veteran who's coming off not a very good year. Advian was not super young, but he was inexperienced. He was coming up. He and Markoon were supposed to be the future of Excel. They were doing so many good things, but Mickey came in and was pretty damn good, and Mickey helped this team win a decent amount of games, even though he maybe didn't start out so good. It's going to take some time. You got to let him ramp up. You got to let him get going, and Excel made the playoffs. Like I said, I believe this was the first time ever in their team's history that they made playoffs, and things were really only expected to get better. I mean, they finished tied with the LEC super team in Team Vitality. This was a huge step in this organization's lifespan. But again, they were supposed to get better. Mickey was now going to be on the team for a full split. They were going to have a full offseason to work together, start ramping up. They were going to be able to build off of some of these things. And the expectations were coming in pretty high for Excel into the summer. And kind of off the bat, they were delivering on them. Excel started out 2-1 in the Super Week. They made it to 4-1. After 3 weeks, they were 5-2. They were tied atop the standings. Not just they were tied atop the standings, because obviously there was a couple other 5-2 teams, but 5 wins and 2 losses through 7 games is really good. And obviously at this time we didn't know that the LEC, at least I don't believe, I think it was a couple weeks later, we didn't know the LEC was going to have 4 seeds. But at that time, with Excel sitting at 5-2 through 7 games, knowing, like, if we would have known at that time that the LEC was going to have 4 seeds, like, man, this would have been such an amazing opportunity for Excel. They go from a team that can't even make the playoffs to now a team that really should be going to Worlds. Mickey was looking really good at this time. Their bot lane was looking really good. Mickey and Patrick. Markoon he was looking like a monster too. One of the better junglers in the LEC. Nuke Duck and Finn were looking like very solid and reliable solo laners. And it just looked like Excel, despite lacking the star power of some of these teams, Excel doesn't have, outside of Mickey, Excel doesn't have the big names of like a Fnatic or a G2 or even like a Rogue or Mad Lions. But Excel was looking like the most cohesive team. They were looking like they had great game plans, great drafts. They were doing a lot of awesome things, and overall they were pretty fun to watch because they did play as a cohesive unit. And that's another interesting thing here. You can see Player of the Game awards. Jankos, Caps, Perks, VTO, Niski. You do not see any Excel players high up on this list, and that it even goes as low as 4 Player of the Games. And obviously Excel ended up winning 9 games. They don't have a single player. I don't know about the full list. Excel Patrick is their highest with 4 Player of the Games, and then you won't see another guy except for Finn with 2. Like, this team was really balanced in how they were winning their games, and that can be good and bad. Obviously, it's good to have a good team, a good unit, a well-balanced squad, but at the same time, coming down the stretch and in big games, playoffs, big moments, stuff like that, you need a dog. You need a guy who's gonna pop off and win you a game. You need a superstar. That's what superstars are, and Excel just kind of lacked that superstar power this year. So they went from 5-2 in week 3, and then they just kind of falter. They're 5-4. Then they're 7-4, bounce back with a 2-0 week. But then, I mean, this is crazy. They're 7-4 through 5 weeks, and they end up going 9-9, finishing the season with just 2 wins and 5 losses through the last 7 games. I mean, that is just really, really disappointing. Let me get a drink of water real quick. My throat's starting to hurt. But that is just really, really disappointing. That is obviously a very, very catastrophic end of the season. Now, yes, Excel was able to sneak into playoffs, but man, there was a really, really dark timeline where they went from making the playoffs one split to going right back to their always finding a way to miss the playoff ways. So this was obviously not good. They did not build on their success in the spring. They went 9-9, and despite having some more ups and downs, they went 9-9 yet again. Obviously, this led them to the playoffs where they were, set up with a date with Fnatic in the first round. They were up 2-0. They were maybe not winning in Game 3, but they had a chance to close out Game 3 as they're pushing into the base. That ends up going wrong. Obviously, we know the Gragas incident in the base where, Wunder just lands a crazy barrel onto Patrick. He ends up getting wiped out, and that's just kind of, it just seemed like it wasn't meant to be for Excel this year. They had some good moments throughout the regular season. They had some good moments throughout the Fnatic series, and again, in a year where they should have been getting better, they should have been ramping up. Yes, they made the playoffs, but really in Summer Split, they should have been going to Worlds with 4 teams. They just ultimately came up short, and now, looking forward, what does this mean for this team? They are finished. They are done, despite doing some better things this year, despite getting a big pickup, spending some money, getting aggressive. Not a lot of teams around the world are doing moves like that right now, especially in the West. There's a handful of teams that spend money, and then there's a heck of a lot of teams who don't, and don't get aggressive, don't go out and spend the money on a buyout on a guy like Mikyx or anything like that. I'm definitely going to do a rebuilding Excel at some point in the near future. I definitely want to stream it. So we'll probably do that at some point during this week because I think Excel's offseason is very, very interesting. If we look at what's going on with them, they have Patrick signed until 2023, so that's good. They have one more year to do something with him. I really do think he's kind of, the guy at Excel right now, and a guy they're looking to build around for the future, and a guy who can be a mainstay in this team going forward into the future. But they're going to need to, one, try and get him re-signed, obviously, because he's going to be a free agent next year, but also need to build a winning team around him. But I do think it's also really, really good that Mickey is also signed until 2023 as well, so they can keep this bot lane together at least for one more year, give him a chance to ramp up and give him a chance to make another run at Worlds next year. But the rest of the team is where things start to get a little bit spicy. Finn, he is signed until 2023, and I do expect Finn to be a guy that they bring back next year as well, because I think Finn overall was pretty good. Was he insane? Was he like the best top laner in the league? No, but I think he was really, really solid. I think he can do plenty for Excel, especially if he gets better into next year. But the two big question marks are the mid lane, where Nukeduck is now a free agent. There's going to be a decision to be made here, because Nukeduck is good. Nukeduck is fine. But Nukeduck is always a guy who's just like pretty solid, above average, good. He's never a guy who's really that often great, and he's never really a guy that's carrying his team towards titles, carrying his team towards Worlds, anything like that. Obviously, he's, had some decent years here and there, but he's maybe the 5th best mid laner in the LEC, 6th best mid laner in the LEC, somewhere in that territory. So is this a guy you look to upgrade? Is this a guy you look to make some moves and get aggressive and do something with? I assume Nukeduck wants to come back, but is Excel going to want him? Are there going to be better options? What exactly are they going to do? This is going to be a big, big decision for Excel going into next year. And then Marcoon. This guy was 3rd team all-pro jungler in the LEC. He is now a free agent as well. And this guy is going to have a very, very interesting offseason. Is he going to come back to Excel? Is he going to try to go to NA? Is there going to be another EU team that maybe goes aggressive after Marcoon? So is Excel going to be able to bring him back? And then if they do, how much money is he going to be making? How much are they going to be able to pay him? And what other opportunities and moves are they going to be able to make? Excel's going to have some decisions to make. Do they want to spend on players? Do they maybe want to look at imports? Do they want to look at ERLs? Do they want to go cheap? Do they want to sell off some guys? I don't know, but it sucked that this team showed they were maybe capable of going to Worlds at certain points in the year, but I think overall, this team, this group of 5 guys, probably just isn't strong enough, and if Excel wants to build on this next year and end up at Worlds, they're probably going to have to get aggressive in this offseason and make some difficult decisions. But again, that's for another day. That's for a whole nother video. As far as this one goes, Excel is finished. Their year is over. It was fun while it lasted. They had some high highs. They had some low lows. It was a wild ride, and it was cool seeing Mickey get an opportunity, not getting to sit in contract hell and all that stuff. Patrick popping off in some games at Nyla in the playoffs was absolutely disgusting, but ultimately they come up short. Fnatic is on the right side of history. They are moving on with a date for a world spot on the line with Misfits next week, and Excel, they are back at home with Team Vitality. They are in off-season mode. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Check out the first link in the description below for my Twitch stream. We're definitely going to be streaming the XL rebuild coming up very, very soon. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe, stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.